Attention gamers, every day that I play this totally not terrible game I wonder to myself the same question. Am I just mad, because I'm bad, or maybe I'm actually mad because I just put my own ass on the line to gank for my mid laner, stunning the wind twin, lighting his ass on fire, building a wall faster than Trump could only dream of before running out of the deck of Uno cards I brought to the fight, expecting my Akali to maybe not be tabbed the fuck out as she breathes the same air that I'm gasping as the man who should have been dead turns me into an egg right next to her. Am I mad because I'm bad? Or am I mad because my ADC paths to the middle of her lane stand still as if she's pulled the phrase useless welcome mat out of the hat in a game of charades? I'm just bad. But speaking of awesome teammates, I got the idea for today's video from the support I had in solo queue the other day who refused to lane with me, told me to slit my wrists, and ultimately sat in our fountain while keeping us hostage because you see, before he went full mental boom he was actually doing well on tank Anivia. So I hit the practice tool and realized that her egg passive scales with her current health, which means building straight tank on this Frosted Flakes Falcon could be OP if my egg took so long to kill that it would buy my inevitably dumbass teams enough time to do something useful, and that would be the goal. But I first tested if the tank mage meta could be a thing on a few other mages first, as reading this Fimble winter tooltip just sounded like the jelly to Lissandra's peanut butter. But what they don't teach you in school is that autofilled supports exist in this world, and considering I thought it would be a splendid idea to play Lissandra APC, let's just say our level 1 wasn't exactly something to brag about, but Lantern Larry insisted to do so from within the prismatic prison while holding his sums for a rainy day until this one started to pour. And killing Mr. Bones gave these two raging boners, but little did they know I'm homeboys with my tower and he will not appreciate such levels of aggression this early. I knew the early game was going to be a bit sussy baka, so I had to pull a Butterfree I Choose You combo as we gave Lux the first experience she will cite when reflecting on why she has pink ward PTSD one day. I've built only health at this point, so when Skelly Shelly casts his fishing line and catches an Obama I have just about enough damage to not get the job done, but I'm like Thresh, let's not cry about spilled milk or my stupid build. We have a soon to be dead blonde in our literal laps right now, and he makes a few grunt noises that I can only assume is an auto-filled support's way of saying okay. That said, he can feel his ears burning that his borderline trolling ADC playing Lissandra is going to post a video flaming him in like 9 days, so all of a sudden he becomes T1 carry a hooking hose like a state champ as I'm there to throw Robocop themed tic tacs at them until Shen visits. Thresh says he doesn't like that dude, so he will leave, and I dance for my life. And at this point I should be thinking about how building damage would probably have resulted in most of these enemies actually dying in this case, but instead I was thinking about the best way to clickbait this like a true League YouTuber. But here's the thing, you see, you and your support can both play some fights to absolute perfection without leaving anything up to chance, but what this build allows you to do is survive in a 1v2 for entirely too long until you've cycled through all your cooldowns a good 16 times, and eventually you can tuck the blonde into bed while definitely surviving yourself. That said, my lack of damage or anything of use this game may be one thing, but another thing is when my mid roams down I can zoom in and CC an already suppressed target without a care in the world because I'm tanky. Or how about when their Lucian is more out of place than a dry genital at P. Diddy's house, I can escort my jungler and make sure he is going to be this next Godzilla Moth's meal whether he likes it or not. Building tank on Lissandra gives me the confidence to cannonball into a sea of red and announce to their entire team that I am not a threat to any of them. It allows me to see an orgy in River and to get in their nuts to butts and say, hey everyone, let's all take a moment to appreciate that we are almost 30 minutes into this League of Legends game and no one has told anyone else to kill themselves, so everyone stand still to appreciate that. And even though I'm struggling to think of positive things to say about this build because he sucks ass, but I want people to play it against me in my own solo queue game so I can have a chance at climbing, so I need to make it sound good. The better way to build a tank mage is to play one that can get its damage from other sources. But I will actually be serious here. If you think locking in a rune page named Vagar Vagina that takes Grasp as its primary rune because you think I will pick so many boogers out of some cow's nose in lane and it will make me so beefy and I can put Grasp icons in the thumbnail of this video and never die, then I have news for you. That rune will give you less than 100 health late game on this little leprechaun. And while we are on my favorite topic of getting baited, don't fall for any of these hybrid AP health bullshit items. They will just result in you inevitably getting eaten. And then eaten some more. But this time not the kind of eaten you want to see. The better way to approach this strategy is to start a game 1 and 4 because you rushed an item that has 0 synergy on this Hogwarts daycare escapee, but the first time you get a visit from your jungler the young Sir Earl Grey, you put their support in the gay pride pen and throw a bunch of shit at him. Then when that little chode tadpole of a dragon has the audacity to try and look you in the eyes, you put her in the cuck cage and request she be yanked into the rainbow barbed wire so your Heartsteel auto can earn you a fat shutdown. Now I have the best health scaling item in the game and the only AP item I will need in this build, so I have 3k health and 500 AP, which means if these rainbow walls could talk they would have no shortage of stories about slaughter. Full disclosure, in this next clip I found myself slightly distracted at how big my character model was without realizing Heartsteel was making me 12% larger because I had 4000 health, but by the time I realized this I was in the middle of 3 enemies and a pile of hoodlums that wanted me dead, so whoops, I guess at least I took down 2 with me. Anyways, my top laner experienced an odd puberty related transformation and everyone was acting like he was a threat to society and had to be euthanized, so I gave them a taste of their own medicine by putting them in a cage, and then I alt-groped the gargoyle before having an extended conversation with Akshan around me being slightly tankier than the leprechaun he's used to seeing. At this point I have almost 5000 health, which means when a team fight breaks out I can volunteer as tribute to walk through all the thresh walls as if I like the feeling of the mist on my short Irish ginger face pubes before nuking the Bollywood Robin Hood and escaping before the others can take me down. My investment into enhancing my APness was low, but my ult still does more than 1000 damage, so paired with me having more CCs than a spam chain email, this actually works much better for Veigar players if you want to try tank mage, but the goal here was to be the tankiest Anivia egg in the world, and that's what I then set out to be. This was his support, and I was about to give this Jinx a game that she will still be telling her grandkids about in 30 years from now, as it started with me saying this Swain has to take a detour if he wants to path out of danger before looking away while my ADC delivers the finishing blow. Then I hit 6 and was enjoying the amenities of sprouting wall boners out of the blue because it made dodging 600-ton death rockets slightly more difficult for their resident cosmic ball sack. I have a metal belt and hemorrhoid in my bag, which, considering I also had my passive, meant I could play like a front-lining Icehawk douchebag and microdose these fuckfaces with frostbite until they trickle in one at a time and go down. If I die I will just turn into an egg and it'll take them a while to consume those 7 grams of protein, which long story short results in the anorexic gun slut getting an incredibly early triple kill. Then some Beybladed asshole comes down thinking he's gonna just parkour over walls and shut us down, so I give him another one to hop over, which slows him down just enough to die inside of a front flip. Then typically birds migrate south, but I'm Alaskan from my ears to my ass, so I migrate north, which is convenient timing because the enemy team has yet another terrain disrespecter who is eyeing up an opportunity to dash through the barren wall, but he wasn't expecting a giant frosted turd to appear, which gave us just enough time to make him a murder victim. Then all of a sudden some obese scrotum comes and whipping chimes at us, and the other wall hacking shit stain is here, and while I can't do much damage I can just deploy a winter hurricane zone and bathe in it like I'm Joe Rogan in a cold tub and go wicked pointy nipple status in this fight until one dies and the other is left skipping off. At this point, when my passive is up, I know I can be more pushed up than a Jew sitting on a chair on the dance floor of a wedding reception, because ain't no way this grandpa and his loyal cockleberry are going to do shit all while the blue braided albino is more fed than a soulless smurf farming content in bronze, not to be confused that I myself may or may not be in a similar elo at this time, but regardless I was slowly getting closer to my tanky egg dreams. Anivia is slow as shit, so I had to buy boots of speed just so I can be the guy who still arrives fashionably late while stunning Beyblade Boy in a room with a large tower defense turret, and then right when he thinks he escapes I land the longest icicle snipe known to man. We decide with the assassin dead it would be a good time to hold hands, sing Kumbaya and try to circle jerk a large toothy river worm, but shit gets real when Gramps throws a temper. Their wall hacking ram starts killing off the weak ones on my team, and I'm just kind of there, unkillable as a hawk but unable to really do anything but deliver some frosty tickles while we all serve as beneficiaries of having a fat as fuck Jinx on our team. And it all led up to this one final fight where I had 2.5 tank items, a fed but absolutely delusionally stupid team, and an opportunity for me to die like a dumbass in the middle of their team and show that it will take half of them so long to kill my egg that my own teammates will have time to finish sucking each other off and then actually contribute, and that's exactly what happened. So I think this should serve as evidence that tank mages are taking over the bot lane meta, and you should definitely start playing them so that I can go against you and get some free LP out of it. Brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.